I posted a short video a little while ago about forearm conditioning, and I wanted to post a little bit of a longer one to touch on how to start and how to do it safely and how to progress. So, if you start your forearm conditioning journey and you're wailing on the tree at full power like this, you're going to end up hurting yourself. So, you should start slower than that. When I started, my Sifu said to do this. Just tap the tree. Just stand and just tap the tree. And tap it for a while, a couple of months maybe, of being very gentle with your arms so that you don't hurt yourself. Because if you start wailing on the tree right away, you're going to hurt yourself. And I'm just standing. I'm not really turning into these, and I'm not really using my waist to generate any power. I'm just tapping my arms on the tree. And so the Dasam Singh pattern, which is down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And for a long time, for longer than you think you need to, if you want to condition your forearms, you should do something like that so that you can progress slowly and safely. In the beginning, you're probably going to find that you overdo it, and then you will get swelling on your arm. And that means that you should stop. You should take a break until your arm is fully recovered before you start again. And when you start again, do it very gently. Tap, 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 tap. As you progress, you can start ratcheting it up in stages. The next stage, from standing still and going tap, 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 is probably to turn a little bit, not even to assume a deep stance and wail on it. It's not time for that yet, but after a few months of just doing this, it's time maybe to turn your waist into it just a little tiny bit, like that. Still tapping, going very, very slowly with a loose hand so that you can get the form right and get the idea, get your arms used to taking some impact in a really, really safe and slow way. The next step is to keep this same posture and the same intensity and change your hand position a little bit. Because when you change your hand position, you're going to change how you're flexing your forearm muscles, and it's going to change your intensity a little bit just because you changed the hand shape. So after you've done a loose hand for a while, you can progress to the next stage, which just do like a little spear hand. Put your fingers together. It's a little bit more structured and a little bit harder just kind of by its nature. So when you get used to that, which again, you should stay at any of these stages for maybe a few months. You have a lifetime to learn this stuff. You have a long time to practice these skills. And there's no reason to rush it, because when you rush it, you learn bad habits and you hurt yourself. And if you hurt yourself, you can't train anymore. If you learn bad habits, you're training the wrong way. So after you've done this for a few months, probably, close your fist and start going like this. And then when you get used to that, start working on the intensity, right? So maybe you can get a little bit deeper into your stance. Maybe you can try to generate more power from your hips and your waist, like this. But don't start here. If you start here, you're going to hurt yourself. This is where you finish. Well, it's not where you finish. This is where you can get after you've been doing it for a long time. And then after you get there, keep doing the same thing, ratcheting up the intensity slowly over a long period of time, and then after a few years, you'll have pretty good, sturdy forearms that can take some impact. Um, the tree is great, not just for forearm conditioning. You can do the same thing for your shins, and again, same thing, little tap, little tap, little tap, little tap, and then eventually ratcheting up the intensity. There are different movements you can train. Another one you can do is, I guess, in Hung Gar, the iron broom, which is, you're sweeping with the leg. Another good one to train. And after you do any of those, it's a good idea to take some time to massage your bones, because you should be striking on your bones. Just work it out so that you avoid injury. If you have Dita Jiao, you can rub that on. I don't, or I do. It's probably in a pantry somewhere, but this is just as, well, it's not just as good. It's different, but it's good way to avoid injury. And of course, your shin too. If you train your shin, there are of course other ways to train all of these things. This Dasam Singh pattern, low, high, low, works best if you've got a partner, so that you're striking each other's arms and trying to maintain sort of a line on your opponent, because it is forearm conditioning and it's hard qigong, but it also has some self-defense principles in there, like I'm square to the tree, controlling the space in here, um, which of course has self-defense applications. Uh, but with a forearm conditioning exercise, the tree works pretty well too, and it's often harder than a partner who's just starting out. So if you're training a long time and you're training with a partner that's been training a long time, then you can probably go harder with him than you do with the tree. But if you've been training for a long time, if you want some more resistance and your partner hasn't been training for a long time, a good way to give your forearms a good workout is to use the tree or use something else that is solid. Or after you've been training your forearms for a while, they're solid too, so you can use those to train. Standing horse, same thing. Hit your forearms. If you're just starting, you don't have a tree, this one's good too. And tap them. Then after a while, you can progress beyond tapping and you can hit harder. You can change the shapes of your hands, do the fists. Because really what you're training for is for your arm to be able to absorb the impact of another arm, which is the bridging that we're practicing for. Um, so forearms are the best things to train your forearms on, and you're training for them to come into contact with forearms. But just like the other ones, stay here for a long time, maybe longer than you think you need to. You'll want to go harder before you can go harder, so take it slow. And then after a long time of figuring it out and not injuring yourself, you can go harder. And that's a little bit on forearm conditioning. Uh, Not to say, hey, look how strong my forearms are, bah, bah, but remember to take it slow. If you're beginning, start here. Before you rush ahead, make sure that you feel awesome there, feel strong, your structure is right, and then ratchet up the intensity over a long period of time, going slowly so that you can stay safe, learn about the exercise, learn about your structure, learn about the bridge, and not hurt yourself. Because if you hurt yourself, you can't train, and training is what we're here to do. Thanks for coming.